Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everyone. My name is Jeremy Walsh, and I am the Director of Support, Training, and Documentation for BNI Connect. I'd like to welcome everybody to the webinar today. Today's webinar is our last webinar of the month, and we are going to be talking about the online renewal process here in BNI Connect. Now, the online renewal process, by the way, is an option in a lot of regions. So not everybody around the world is using this functionality yet. So if you are a member on this webinar, or if you're somebody on the incoming leadership team, I urge you to please check with your executive director or your director consultant first as to whether or not you're using this process in your region. And even with that said, there are different ways in which this particular process can happen. There's different configuration options that can be put in place by the executive director. So again, please do check with your executive director or your director consultant before implementing this in your chapter if it is not already in process. So before we go on with today's topic, just a couple more little housekeeping things. First of which is that if you're joining us today on the last day of September, you are listening to a live webinar. So that means that if you have any questions as we're going through the material today, please do feel free to ask those questions. The best way to do that is to type the question in. I will see that pop up on my screen, and I will be happy to answer it. In addition to any executive directors or director consultants on the call with us today, I do know that we have at least 3 executive directors with us today on this call. If you need copies of any of this training material, mi casa es su casa. I'm happy to give you everything that I have and that's created, and you are free to do with it as you wish to utilize it in training your area. All you need to do is ask, and I will make it available to you via email. I can send it with you, carrier pigeon, however you want to get it, I will get it over to you. So while this is a live webinar, we also record all of our webinars, and Paula, I promise I will get them uploaded very, very soon, and thank you for being on every single one of our webinars over the past couple of days. But they are recorded. They're made available as soon as I can get to them on 2 places, the first of which is on our support site. Support.bniconnect.com is one place that you'll find them, and the second place you'll find them is on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/BNI Connect Global. Again, that's youtube.com/BNI Connect Global. This particular series, more than likely, I'm going to have to catch up tomorrow over the weekend and get them all uploaded to YouTube and onto the support site. So Paula, give me one more day and I will have them for you. All right. So let's get started. And by the way, all of these webinars are set to be about a half hour so that we can, we want to make sure that we respect your time. We're all really busy individuals, and we like to keep these short and sweet and on topic so that you can get back on with your busy lives, schedules, days, and businesses. This particular one, we're looking at probably about 20 minutes or so, depending on the questions that we get. And David, yes, I see your question. I will be happy to set up an appointment with you for Monday. Why don't you shoot me an email with a couple of times that you have available, and we'll get that set. Okay? Awesome. Let's get started. So let's talk about online renewals today. So the online renewal process is something that's one of the newer features in BNI Connect. We've only had it around for, I'd say I guess we're coming up on 2 years this November that we've had this feature available in BNI Connect, and it has worked really, really well. For the reason that from a member perspective, it's really easy. It's anybody in the world who has ever filled out an application or bought anything online, which is just about everybody, especially people in business, have found this process to be pretty much straightforward. You fill out a form and you put in your credit card. That's about all there is to it from a member perspective. Now, from a leadership team perspective, the catch is that now that we're doing the application online, or the renewal application online, the approval process has to happen online as well. And it's it's not replacing any of the process that we have in the chapter. We absolutely are 100% still having our membership committee meetings. The only difference is that rather than signing a physical piece of paper saying that we reviewed this, the vice president or a representative of that membership committee goes online and says, yes, we promise you that we've had our meeting and we verify this application. So let's take a look at this from a couple of different perspectives. What I want to do is show you this first from a member perspective. So what does this look like to a member that needs to renew? What are the steps they take? What does it look like? And then we'll kind of switch gears and we'll look at this from a leadership team perspective. Now, I don't usually go into the admin side of things on this, but I do know that today we have, again, at least 3 executive directors on the line. So if you guys want me to show you the admin side of things, I am happy to do that as well. Okay? So let's take a look at this from a member perspective. So there's actually, here's how the process works. This is how it looks like just in general. And really it's the same as a regular application process. So a member completes a renewal application that is submitted online. That renewal does need to be reviewed and approved by the membership committee. Again, no secret there, no change there. And then the third one is that the renewal is reconciled. Same as that happens now. Once the money is received in the regional office, that is verified. So how does this look to members? So there are actually 5 different ways that a member can start the application process or this renewal application process. Keep in mind, this is just for renewals. We do not have, full applications, brand new applications yet online, although that is being discussed for the future. But this is for renewal applications. There are 5 different opportunities for a member to start this renewal process. The first of which is they will get a reminder by default 60 days before their membership is up for renewal. They get an email that says, hey, you're due in 60 days. Would you like to start that process of renewal now? Please click this link. That will take them to the renewal application. The second way is that on your regional website, if you'd like to, executive directors, you may put a link up there that says Renew Now. If they click that link, they have to log into BNI Connect, and then it will bring them directly to the application process. And third, once a member logs into BNI Connect just on a regular everyday basis, there is a Renew Now link that is available at the top of the screen. And the fourth way is that on the main profile of the main tab of their profile, there is a Renew Now button there as well. So there's those 4 methods, plus if you're doing pre-approvals in your area, once a person gets pre-approved, then they will get an email saying, hey, congratulations, your membership committee has just pre-approved you for renewal. Would you like to start that process now? All right, so this is what the original emails look like. We have done some updates to the email, so it doesn't necessarily look like this anymore. We've done some branding improvements to it, but the fact remains that there is a Renew Now link that is available here, and also a Renew Online Now button. Click here. So it gives them the opportunity to start that renewal process. The second way is, again, on your regional website, you can put a link. Here's just a couple of different options. I mean, we have a standard link that you can use, or you can create your own button. They happen to have one that looks like this on Minnesota. Here's what they've chosen for BNI Heartland, and Arizona has one that looks like that. They all point to the same place, though. So whichever button you decide to do, or if you want to create your own button, that is fine as well. And let's show you what this looks like. I'm going to log in as a member. So I have some test memberships, and Richard Martin here. He's one of my members in Antarctica in the Burr chapter. So let's log in as Ricky. Oops, hold on a second. Uh-oh, did I lose his password? There we go, I chose the wrong Ricky Martin. Would help to choose the right one. So Ricky here, we can see that his renewal date is 10/1/2016, tomorrow. Uh-oh, he's behind the 8 ball here. So Ricky needs to get renewed. So he logs in, and you should be able to see right up at the top of the screen here, there is a button that says Renew Now. Okay, by the way, that is also under, if I go to Update Profile or go to Options, My Account, on the profile, there's also this Renew button right here. Okay, so no matter where you click, it will always take you directly to the application. So here I am. This is what the application looks like. By the way, this is the Antarctica application. So it's the United States one is a little bit different in the verbiage and everything. Or if you happen to be from Canada or Mexico or the United Kingdom, obviously the application is going to be done by country and your own language, etc. So this even says, I understand this is a renewal of my test membership in Antarctica. Yes, I understand. Obviously, they can choose a 1 or a 2-year renewal. Yes, it is very expensive in Antarctica, three fishes. We also have the questions that have an asterisk are required. Ones without an asterisk are not. So when a member goes through this, they also have the opportunity here to update their member details. Now, remember that whenever somebody wants to change category or things like that, one of the opportunities they have to do that is during the renewal process. So let's say that, Ricky Martin here decides that, he's no longer in children's services, he's in child daycare. So he's actually applying for a new specialty here. He can do that during this process. Now, keep in mind, and this always freaks out membership committees and executive directors, this does not automatically change his category on his membership. Okay, it still needs to be approved and then manually changed afterwards. So that's a very important distinction to make. And if any of these things that have a red pound sign next to them are changed, alarm bells start going off all over the place. You get emails saying this person changed a pertinent part of their information, listing out what the change is, and it also, right when you go to approve it, there will be a nice big message saying this person is asking to be approved for something new. Okay? They then need to agree to the code of ethics. And by the way, yes, the new rolling 6-month policy has been updated in the U.S. Version of the policy. And finally, we just click Proceed to Payment. Okay, that has now been submitted. We choose the payment type. Now this, again, executive directors, this is customized by region. You can choose what payment types you will accept: credit card, check, cash, et cetera, et cetera. In Antarctica, we only accept checks. And then you can put your own custom instructions for, how you would like to process that. You can also ask for a proof of payment if you'd like to, especially for checks or things like that. Obviously, a credit card will have its own proof of payment. And then we click Submit. So at that point, it says, thank you for applying to renew your BNI membership. The membership committee has been notified and will contact you. And from a member perspective, at this point, that process is over. And one thing that you'll know is that there have now been a couple of emails that have been sent out. So the membership committee just received 2 emails. One that said, by the way, congratulations, Ricky Martin has just put in their renewal application. You need to go approve this, or if you want to go review it, go here. And then because Ricky Martin made changes to his profile, another email went out that said, by the way, Ricky Martin here is requested to change something about their application. And we can see here he's gone from previously children's services to child daycare. And That's all there is to it from a member perspective. Basically, they just need to log in, complete the renewal, choose a payment, and a bunch of notifications are sent. So that's it from a member perspective. Is there any questions quickly so far on the member side of how this works? All right, so if there's no questions on the member side of things, let's go ahead and look at how this works from a leadership team perspective. Okay, so here's the deal. With the leadership team, now that these are done online, the online renewals also have to be approved online in BNI Connect. Now, the good part about this is especially from a regional and leadership perspective, this really does help to make the process a lot easier. One of the reasons is that we can do this online 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So a lot of times when it comes to the paper process, chasing a piece of paper, chasing a piece of physical paper is a lot harder than chasing something electronically. So, you know, a member submitting a renewal application, for example, on paper, you know, to be the Secretary Treasurer and chase that, it means the Secretary Treasurer either has to drive to the person's house or business to pick it up, wait for them to put it in the mail, or, you know, what happens almost all the time is they say, oh, just bring it to the meeting next week. And then all of a sudden 1 week goes by, 2 weeks goes by, 3 weeks goes by, and now all of a sudden they're late and we have this whole downward spiral. With the online applications, now it's as easy as an email or a phone call. By the way, go submit it now. Okay, I'll log in. Takes 2 minutes to go through, and now it's submitted, and we can go on with the second part of the process. So when it comes to these approvals, though, every online application needs to be approved. Now, you can do a full approval, conditional approval, or you can deny a renewal as well. And from a regional perspective, you can choose whether you want to allow only pre-approvals, after approvals, or both. And the key to this is, and this is very important for executive directors and regional admins, you cannot reconcile this transaction until it has both payment and has been approved. All right, so let's talk real quick about pre-approvals. As I said, there is a pre-approval option, which means that, you know, the membership committee and the leadership team, they can go in and approve a member before they've submitted an application. So you can require that they do this ahead of time, or it can just be an option that they do this ahead of time. The nice thing about this, it's both good and bad. If you do only pre-approvals, that means that it is now a leadership team driven process, meaning a member cannot input a renewal until they've been approved. So if you have a leadership team that waits to the last minute, it doesn't really give the member a lot of time to process that renewal. On a good note, if they're ahead of schedule, this is a way that, you know, encourages and prompts a renewal, you know, because they get an email saying, congratulations, you've been pre-approved. And there's two ways to do a pre-approval. Either the member can click on the renewal link in that membership renewal reminder email. So you know this, that we've updated this. It goes out on the 21st of the month, and it lists all of the people that are due for renewal and or past due for renewal in the next 3 months. So they have an opportunity to click a link there. That brings them to the approval screen. And then the second way is, let's say that you didn't get that email, or you ignored it, or you deleted it, or whatever. You can do this through the membership dues report as well. So let's take a look at that process real quick. Now, I'm going to have to log out as Ricky Martin here. So let me sign out. And one of the people on my leadership team is Alf. So Alfred E. Newman here. So Alf is on the leadership team. Let's go in as Alf and go and take a look at pre-approving a member. We do that by going to the reports. So I go to the country level, the chapter level reports, I'm sorry. We have our membership dues report, or lovingly referred to as the MDR. Click go. And once if pre-approvals are enabled in the region, you will see a column in this report that says member renewal. So anybody in the list can be renewed. You note that until they are pending renewal. So Ricky Martin has a pending renewal, so I can't pre-approve him. But other people, let's say we have Darcy Doolittle here. She's going to be up for renewal on October 1st, but hasn't submitted yet. We can go ahead and click the pre-approve. And here we're given basically her, a brief synopsis of her history. So we can see her last 6 months of performance. If we click on training details, this will take us to her profile. And we could take a look at her profile and see where she's at and what she's doing. And then finally at the bottom, we have our options to pre-approve. So we have to certify that we've had all the necessary membership performance reviews. Otherwise, that button at the bottom is not clickable. Then we can also choose whether it's a conditional renewal and or whether a control letter has been sent. A couple of notes about this. First of all, this is not, I repeat, this is not a voting process. Only one person, usually the vice president, only one person goes in and registers the decision. So this isn't a, 3 people voted yay, 1 person voted nay type of situation. This is, they had their meeting, the meeting is private, they're registering their decision here. The second thing is that conditional approval. What does that mean? It means whatever you want it to mean. Okay, BNI Connect is not enforcing any type of probation or anything else like that. All this does is it puts a mark in their membership history that says this was approved with conditions. That's it. What the conditions are up to you. How you enforce them is up to you. We don't want to take responsibility for that electronically. Okay, and because every region and every place out there has a different definition of what that is going to be. All right, and the same thing with control letters. That's just to mark that you had done so. We click pre-approve, and now this person is pre-approved. Oh, by the way, here's their profile. We can see their training records. We can see if they've even filled out their profile, if they filled out their bio. We can see if they've been given any testimonials, and we can use this in deciding whether or not we're going to renew them. Again, I can close that and go back to the membership dues report if I want to. All right, so that's a pre-approval. And then the second thing that we can do, so if we don't have pre-approvals or if the person beat us to the punch and submitted an application, the second thing we have is a post-approval. In other words, the membership has already submitted their renewal. And there's also 2 opportunities to get this done. The first of which is to click on the member renewal link. So the email, like I showed you before, there is an email saying that congratulations, a renewal has been received for Ricky Martin. Would you like to go and approve this renewal? And if you click this approve button, it will take you to the approval screen. Or you can go to the pending applications as well. All right, so let's take a look at how this looks in the system. So again, I could have clicked the link, or the place to go for this is to go to the operations menu and view the pending applications. So operations chapter, manage memberships, view pending applications. Here we'll see the list of everybody that has submitted a application. And for Ricky Martin here, we see that he put a renewal in. We see it was submitted, and it gives us the option here to approve it. Now you'll notice that this screen is pretty much the same as the other one, with the exception that the PDF of the application is attached, so I could click this. We could save this if we want to have a hard copy of it. Otherwise, it will just be a part of their record. And here's another thing. It says, this renewal application was submitted with changes to the name, company, or categories. There is a big warning here. But other than that, we can review their details. And once again, we certify that we've had our meeting, and we can approve or decline it. Approving it finishes out this part of the process. Declining it, very important distinction here. Declining a member's renewal does not kick them out of the chapter. Okay, the decline will send out some notices to the leadership team and to the membership committee and to the director consultant and the regional admin to say, hey, this person's been declined. It does not notify the member. That has to be done via control letter. And again, it does not drop the member. Maybe it's a decline because there was an error on the application, or maybe they're declining it because they don't approve that he's going into child care services now, but they would approve him if he stayed in his old category. So there's different reasons why you could decline somebody without necessarily saying you're no longer a member of the chapter. So that does have to be done separately. But I'm going to go ahead and approve this one. Ricky Martin has now been approved. Again, some more emails go out. If Ricky hadn't paid yet, Ricky would get an email saying, okay, it's time to pay now. But there is a approval email that just went. Pleased to announce that Ricky Martin's renewal application has been approved. All right, so just to review real quick. So the membership committee reviews the renewal application and member performance. Again, that meeting still has to happen. A leadership team member, again, usually the vice president, but it could be one person from the membership committee, but either way, it's only one person, records their decision. And finally, the next step would be that the region would reconcile it the same way that they normally would to say that the payment has been received. And again, I know we have a couple of executive directors on the call. If you would like me to go into that part of the process, I will. I don't usually go into it on this particular call, but because I recognize a couple of executive directors, just say the word, and I'm happy to show you that part of the process. All right, now, as I've mentioned, there are a boatload of emails that go out as part of this process informing people of every step along the way. There's before the emails, there's the renewal notifications, there's the opt-out. So if a member gets that email and says, you know what, I don't think I'm going to renew right now, and they click the opt-out button, there is an email that goes around there as well. There's the pre-approval email. Then during the process, there's all the submission emails and the renewal received and the member details changes. And then afterwards, there's the approval message, the payment requested message, and the approval or decline announcements. Now, if you're not sure which email goes to which person, if you're looking at this, you can figure out, let's say that you're the vice president is actually one of the ones that gets the most emails as part of this process, and they would get basically that list of emails as we step through the process. So what I'd like to do now is to open this up for questions. Does anybody have any questions at all about how this process works? Love to answer those questions now. Now, we did have a question from Gail Williams. I know I think she's left the webinar right now. Gail, if you're listening to the recording, just shoot me an email if you still have questions. But she says, sometimes when members go into the renewal, they don't always see the button for PayPal. Is this an error on our end or with PayPal? So one thing to keep in mind is that there are a lot of regions that have multiple payment types or multiple credit card options. BNI Connect can only register one type of option. So it could be authorized.net, it could be PayPal, it could be SagePay, but you can only put in one payment gateway. And then some people have, for example, PayPal on their website in a shopping cart format. So one of those methods would actually be the quote-unquote online method, the credit card method that gets processed through BNI Connect. If you're doing a secondary payment option, such as check cashing or PayPal or something like that, through a shopping cart, that would be considered an offline credit card, that they would have to choose the offline credit card option and process that separately. All right, so hopefully, Gail, that answers your question. Again, I'm happy to answer that over the phone or in an email if you are listening to this later. Paula says, I don't see this link. We must not use this in our region. Can you check? From Miami-Dade. Paula, you are correct. You are not using it yet in Miami-Dade. I know that for a fact because I work very, very closely with your region. This is definitely something that we are considering turning on in Miami. So if you think that this is a good process, now that you've seen it, what I'd like you to do is to please shoot Jeff an email and let him know, I just watched this process. I think it would be a good process for our chapter because we are strongly considering turning it on in Miami-Dade, and it's just a matter of when and finding some chapters that would be willing to kind of beta test the process with us. All right. And again, thank you so much. Paula has been here on every single webinar this week. So we had webinars Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. She's been here for every single one of them. All right, do we have any other questions at all? We are at the bottom of the hour, so I know it's late on a Friday afternoon and everybody's had a really long week, but do we have any more questions? Otherwise, what I'll let you do, let you go and let you guys have a wonderful weekend. Now, by the way, we are doing our series all over again next week. Especially for the leadership teams, because we do have a lot of people that are, stepping into leadership team positions as of next week. If you go to our support site, support.bniconnect.com. All right, let me get there. You can usually get there by clicking on the question mark here in the upper right-hand corner. Go to live and recorded webinars, and we have our upcoming webinars. Again, we have completed our September series. I'll get those recordings up as quickly as possible, I promise, Paula. Then we have our October series, and note here we're doing our leadership team series right there in the beginning of the month for the incoming leaders, and then we will start with our typical member series right after that. All right, so if there's no additional questions, again, thank you guys so much for being here, and I look forward to seeing you on a future webinar. Have a great weekend, and happy connecting.